You know, if you think the world has gotten quiet lately, I promise you, you haven't been looking in the right places. While the headlines might seem to focus on things closer to home, a much bigger, more complex reality is unfolding right now. The United States is caught up in a subtle but incredibly intense three-front conflict. It's a struggle that spans the entire globe, from the dusty battlefields of Africa to the frozen skies of the Arctic and right into the heart of Washington's most explosive secrets. You're going to want to stay till the end because some of the things we're about to uncover are truly shocking. All right, let's get back to it. So, our first front, this one is all about physical force. It's a shadow war in Somalia that has all of a sudden been dragged out into the open. Think drones, special forces, and a fight against a stubborn, two-headed insurgency. The second front, though, it's not fought with bullets. It's fought with information. A political bombshell just went off in Washington, D.C., and it triggered an executive order so unprecedented it could completely change how we see our place in the universe. No exaggeration. And our third front takes us clear to the top of the world. High in the skies over Alaska, a new kind of Cold War is heating up, where nuclear-capable bombers and stealth fighters are locked in this tense, high-stakes dance that is pushing the limits of global power. Three fronts, three totally different kinds of conflict. Okay, let's start with that first front. For years, the U.S. mission in Somalia was this kind of low-key, under-the-radar thing. But in 2026, that has all changed, and I mean dramatically. This quiet war has suddenly become very, very loud. And the speed of this change is just staggering. Look at this. We're just into the year, and the U.S. has already launched 36 confirmed airstrikes. At this pace, 2026 is on track to see more action in Somalia than the last 3 years combined. This isn't some gradual increase. This is a full-throttle, pedal-to-the-metal acceleration. So the big question is, why? Why now? Well, what's crucial to understand is that this isn't just one single fight. U.S. forces are actually targeting two completely different groups. Down in the south, you've got the long-standing enemy Al-Shabaab, which is linked to Al-Qaeda. But then, way up in the mountains of the north, a newer, more unpredictable threat is growing, ISIS Somalia. It's like fighting two different wars in the same country, which, as you can imagine, makes things incredibly complicated. And this brings us to the big debate. Officially, the military is calling these strikes preemptive self-defense. It's part of a new maximum pressure strategy. Basically, hit the threats before they can even get organized. Makes sense. But there's another theory bubbling up among analysts, one that points to money. Could this whole surge be about creating stable, safe zones to get at the region's huge, untapped reserves of critical minerals? Basically, using foreign policy to secure the resources we'll need for the future. All right, let's pivot to our next front. We're shifting from a hot war on the battlefield to a political war in Washington, D.C., a war over secrets that has just hit a truly stunning peak. You honestly can't make this up. The chain of events here is just surreal. It all started with what seemed like a throwaway comment on a podcast from a former president. That one comment was immediately seized on by the current president, who then accused his predecessor of leaking classified information. And the response? It wasn't undenial. It was a shocking order: declassify everything. Just like that, in a matter of days, decades of official secrecy were completely overturned. And make no mistake, this wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark. The executive order was a formal, official directive aimed right at ARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. This is the government group literally created to investigate these things. They are the keepers of the keys, the guardians of these secrets, and they've just been ordered to throw the vault wide open. And what's inside that vault? Well, it is the stuff of legend. We are not talking about some blurry, grainy photos here. The order covers crystal-clear gun camera footage from Navy pilots, satellite data showing objects making maneuvers that defy our known laws of physics, even the legendary Black Vault documents from the Cold War. Now, whether this is a brilliant move for transparency or just a massive strategic distraction, it's about to become one of the biggest intelligence dumps in modern history. Okay, for our final front, we're going from potential unearthly encounters to a very real, very tense encounter in the skies over Alaska. Because while Washington is looking up at the stars, the Pentagon is looking due north. Now, this wasn't just some lone plane that strayed off course. We're talking about NORAD jets scrambling to intercept a coordinated Russian military formation. It had Tu-95 Bear bombers, which, yes, can carry nuclear weapons, plus advanced Su-35 fighter escorts and an A-50 airborne command post. This was a message, a deliberate test of America's air defenses.
And that phrase, routine but tense, just perfectly captures the knife's edge situation up there. I mean, sure, these intercepts do happen, but every single one is a calculated risk. It's a moment where one wrong move, one overly aggressive maneuver, could spiral into a massive international incident. It's a dangerous game of chicken, played at twice the speed of sound. This is often how these encounters are described, a 30,000-foot ballet. It's this strange mix of diplomacy and raw threat. You have F-22s pulling up right alongside Russian bombers. The pilots can literally make eye contact. They're close enough to see each other. And without saying a word, they send a very clear message. We see you. This is our airspace. Turn back now. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some random flyby. It was a strategic move in a much bigger geopolitical chess game. As the Arctic ice melts, brand new shipping lanes and untold natural resources are opening up. So what does Russia do? It aggressively reopens old Soviet military bases to stake its claim. And in response, the US is beefing up its own presence. That flight wasn't just a probe, it was a projection of power into what is becoming the world's next great frontier. So, the real question is, how do these three seemingly disconnected stories, a drone war in Somalia, a declassification bombshell in Washington, and a bomber intercept over Alaska, how do they all connect? What does it all mean when you look at them together? Well, taken together, they paint a really clear picture of a new era of global friction. An era where the competition between great powers isn't just happening on traditional battlefields or in quiet diplomatic rooms anymore. No, it's happening everywhere, all at once, using every tool in the toolbox. This right here is what the new chessboard looks like. In Somalia, the US is using kinetic power, the direct physical application of force. In Washington, it's a bottle of information power, using secrets and the release of those secrets as a powerful tool. And up in the Arctic, it's all about positional power, using military presence not necessarily to fight, but to claim strategic ground for whatever comes next. And that really leaves us with the most important question of all, the one that kind of defines this moment in time. Are we just watching three separate, isolated crises play out across the globe? Or are we actually seeing the distinct fronts of a single, interconnected struggle to right the rules and seize the high ground of the 21st century? The answer to that is going to shape the world for all of us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for the latest updates just like this one, and you can watch the next video coming up on your screen right now.